Hey guys, Tucker here from Fourth Meal Tech, and today we're going to be rounding up the top 5 tech of all time. So these are some things that have changed the technology industry over the years and pretty much the start and the seeds of the technology tree. Let's get started. So kicking it off at number 1, we have the original Apple iPhone. And this was kind of the first smartphone that was ever made by pretty much anybody. And Apple introduced this in 2007 with a touchscreen, which was a big deal at the time, coming in at 3.5 inches, which is actually really small compared to today's smartphones. This was the first smartphone to feature an app store as well as connectivity to the internet. You could save all your contacts in it and have music and basically everything you need all in the palm of your hand. So it was really revolutionary for the time, and I think Apple made a very good move when introducing the first iPhone. Coming in at number 2, we have the ENIAC, or ENIAC, however you say that, computer, and this was basically the first computer that was ever introduced to the entire world, basically the start of everything, and this developed into programmable computers and computers that you didn't have to program eventually with Windows and Mac OS now today, as well as developing into small handheld computers like the original iPhone, which was the number 1 on this list. So this was very much so the start, the very, very beginning of the technology industry. Number 3 is the Motorola Dynatac 8000X, which was basically the first cell phone ever introduced by Motorola in the 1940s, I believe. And it was actually really big and clunky and not something you would want to carry around today. And I'm sure the sound quality was not very good on the phone. I've never used one myself, but I've heard they were not very good. And they were actually featured in a lot of high-tech agent movies, and it just seemed really high-tech for the time. And this also produced a lot of help for the new cell phones that we use today. Number 4 is the Camera Obscura. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but it was basically the world's first camera ever invented. And, nowadays we take cameras for granted. They're built into pretty much any device you buy, your computer, your laptop, your phone, anything that you purchase in the technology industry today basically has a camera built in. So this kind of revolutionized that and really took the idea of taking an image and being able to view it later, which is pretty amazing when you think about it. And number 5 is Microsoft and Apple creating their Windows and OS X platforms. Now, before this, computers had to be programmed, and you couldn't just log into your account and then go browse the internet. You had to actually type in the program of what you actually wanted to do on the computer, whether it was a calculation or typing something out, but the functionality was very limited. So the introduction of Windows and Mac OS X really allowed us to unleash the full potential of computers, and it's what we use today. Honorable mentions go to the Abacus, which was kind of the first idea for a calculator, which it developed into a calculator, and then calculators slowly developed into programmable computers, which developed into cell phones, etc. You get the pattern. But that was kind of the real root of where everything started with counting. Also, an honorable mention to the iPad, as it was the first in its category for a real tablet that did well in its category, and the introduction of tablets overall. Also, a third honorable mention to the Pebble smartwatch, as it was also the first in its category for wearable devices, specifically smartwatches. And I think they actually did a very good job for the first ever device in its category. And it was very impressive to see what Pebble has become nowadays. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, be sure to click that like button as well as the subscribe button, as it really does help me out. And I'll see you guys in the next video.